Well, good morning, everyone. I hope you're ready to look at a Bible verse together today that we have known for a long, long time, but maybe we haven't looked at it in just the right light, which we're going to in just a moment. Now, men, if you're available today, 9 a.m., over in the 19 restaurant meeting rooms, we're having a breakfast. It's our monthly men's breakfast with a great speaker, great eggs Benedict, and wonderful fellowship. Come on out. We'd love to have you. You can be our guest. And what's better than that? 9 a.m. at the 19. Hope you can come. Now, if you've been with us this week, you know that we are continuing talking about being intentional Christian grandparents. And that's such an important thing to influence the next generation and the next generation for Jesus Christ. And I think that, right now, with all that's been happening with after the Charlie Kirk murder, it's brought home how the younger generations, from teenagers on, they're turning to Christ. And we can be a part of that. Boy, this makes it really easy to talk with our grandkids about, what do you think about this? What is your take on what happened? Just listen to them. You don't have to say anything. Just ask for their opinion and let them tell you. Maybe they never heard of Charlie Kirk, but most likely my two older grandkids, I found out they're watching his podcast before his death. And they were doing it with their friends. Wow. I hope you will use this as a time to start talking with your grandkids, especially if they're teenagers on up. Go take that opportunity. Now, the verse I want us to look at today, we've been looking at GRAN, and those are acronyms for each thing. And wow, it's been so good. N is today. That's the one letter that we come to. And it stands for I will nurture their nature. I will nurture their nature. What does that mean? Well, let me give you the Bible verse, first of all, that I want us to think a little bit more in depth today about. And it's Proverbs 22:6. Does that ring a bell to you? It might not, the address, but I know you know the verse. And it says this: train up a child in the way that he or she should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. That's a verse that a lot of us have claimed when our kids have gone off track. And we pray so much that it's just off track for a season and that they will come back. And I believe that to be the case based on this verse. However, what is it really saying? It actually, most Bible scholars agree that it's the best translation would mean something like this: train up a child in the way that God has made them, in the way that their personality is, and they'll stay like that their whole life. Or train up a child according to their natural bent, or their personality, or the way he or she is wired. In other words, the way that God has made each person. I don't know how many times I've talked with maybe some of you about your children and or grandchildren. And we know that each child, each person is different. We had two children. One is very outgoing, and always has been her whole life. The other one is more quiet and reserved and really, in a way, more like me. The first one's more like Diane in many ways. I can remember, the first one, Holly, being when she was a little kid, we would go out to the pool or something, and she'd be in one of those little walker things, where it's on wheels and you could rock. She would make sure, even as gosh, I guess that would be like a 1 or 2 year old, she made a point of going to every single person on that pool deck to get to say hi and get to know them. And yet our second daughter, Stacy, she'd be very content and happy to, be let's say on a beach towel and play with her doll right by us. Two different, perfectly fine bents, or the way that God made them. And yet so that we were encouraged to help them in the way that God has made them and find ways for them to express their way of life to others and mold that to serving of God. Find different ways that they could serve the Lord. It's a beautiful thing. Now, how do we do that? For each of our grandkids, we should know them and observe them enough to know how God has made them or what they're interested in. What are they passionate about? That's the way to go. Their personality, their gifts, their talents, their inclinations. For one of my grandkids, I think you've heard me mention before, he loves soccer. He loves soccer. So for me to talk with him intelligently about his games and about what position he's playing and all that type of thing, what did I need to do? I need to learn about soccer. And when this all started a few years ago, I knew almost nothing about it. And I know more about it now. But I know there's much I have to learn. But I wanted to. And I love talking to him about some of the intricacies of the strategy in the game. And he's changed positions over the years. And now, we're hopeful he's playing at a very high level. We're hopeful that he really wants to go on to play college ball. So maybe I get another 4 years of watching him play soccer. I don't know. My other older teen girl, she's playing lacrosse now. Talk about not knowing much about a sport. I really am needing to learn about lacrosse, but she's playing well. And she's just starting high school, but it looks like she's going to play for a while. So I want to learn lacrosse. A few years ago, and Ruby is her name, and Ruby had, at that point in time, she was really good at art. And so we encouraged that and bought her some things that helped her get better at it and practice, you could say. Learn the bent of each of your grandchildren or great-grandchildren and encourage that nature. Encourage them. And you know why? Well, that's important. They will love you for it. They already love you, but when you show interest in what they have interest, they will love you all the more. Isn't that worth it? If it costs you a few dollars, there's no better investment. Spend the money. Nurture their nature. Well, we're going to go on to a real important one, dealing with the dilemma of distance tomorrow. You don't want to, especially if you have anyone not near you, you need tomorrow's show. See you tomorrow.
They'll know we are Christians by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christians by our